Welcome everybody to episode 3 of the Morph-Moment series. This is an interview series with global female entrepreneurs, and it's to highlight the moments they had in either their personal or professional life that led them to a new revelation, a new direction. Today here with me is Janine Aeroporos, who is the co-founder and COO of a wonderful new marketplace called Cerqular. Janine, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Great. Janine, let's talk about this fastest growing sustainable marketplace. So with Cerqular, you've got a wonderful mission. You want to make sustainable shopping super accessible and super transparent. There is quite a bit of anxieties when it comes to buying sustainable products. A lot of consumers think that it's a trend and it's a marketing thing that companies do now, offering sustainable products. And you want to take this anxiety completely out of the equation and make it accessible, affordable, and super transparent. So I know that you come from a corporate background, a former lawyer working in financial services, had a beautiful, stellar career. What was that morph moment that made you actually decide to leave the safety nets of unemployment and turn it into a new venture and a new company, and actually together with your husband? So basically, your both livelihoods went from safe, obviously employments are more safe, aren't they? Into this wonderful new venture with a beautiful sustainable mission that is helping communities.
Oh goodness, I've had many morph moments, but this is the morph moment that I've acted on, and it's something that both my husband and I both. So I guess if I think about the reason or how it came about to start Cerqular, it was really at the peak of my career. I was managing a small team. We were living in Hong Kong, and I had always wanted to have my own business ever since I was a young child. I can remember I'd made the decision that I'd wanted to be my own boss one day, obviously not knowing and comprehending what that actually meant, but I'd always had that goal. And there've been many moments in my life where I've just had this inner voice, I guess, saying you should do your own business. And I've had so many ideas along the way that my husband always jokes. He says, you come up with a new idea every week. And I can do that. But at the same time, I love it. I'm drawn to it. But then what I would usually find would happen is someone else would come in and do that idea, and I would watch other people's businesses flourish when it was the idea that I had. And I'm sure so many people have had that. So there've been many moments in my life where I've just thought, you should do your own business. And there've been moments where things have been going well in my life, and there've been moments where things haven't been going well in my life. So at a kind of juncture, good or bad, I've always had that voice, and that inner voice wanting to do my own business, until that just became louder and louder. And I just could not do this. And I guess the catalyst to actually doing this was just wanting to do something that I had a very strong connection to. I realized that I want to do a business, but the reason why I really want to do it is to do something that I felt truly passionate about. And I think my mum said to me ever since I was young, find something that you enjoy and you never work a day in your life. And this is how I truly feel. And that's really what it's all about for us, is doing something where we feel that connection to. And I'm really proud of being involved in sustainability. I'm proud of what we've achieved. And it's just, to me, it's a joyous thing that we get to experience together.
That's wonderful. And so sustainability, the idea of doing something around sustainability was another morph moment. And how did sustainability in itself come about?
Traveling around, both my husband and I, through our jobs, we saw firsthand that the effects of mass consumerism and the conventional world has had on people's livelihood and their actual day-to-day living. Yeah. There was so much pollution around on many occasions. And my husband and I just decided one day, we thought, you know what, we've got to do something about this. Let's just do our small bit and let's try and live more cleaner and buy sustainable items wherever we can and incorporate it into our life. And we did. And whether that be in store or online. And I guess the whole thing all culminated one year when I was buying gifts for the holiday season. And I don't have a big family, by the way. I probably had to buy, I think I recall, maybe 15 or so gifts. And I wanted to buy them sustainably and make sure that they were sustainable products. And it was really to find what I wanted. Because I was new to sustainability, I didn't know too many brands. I spent a lot of time researching and working out, okay, is this truly sustainable? And I'm happy to spend the extra dollars, which sometimes sustainable is more expensive and sometimes it's not. But there are a lot of sustainable marketplaces at the moment that are in the vertical space. So they focus on, like you said, maybe fashion. So they may only do women's fashion, or they may do women's and men's fashion. It's fantastic. We're really pleased because we are the world's first marketplace to be partnered with Sendle, which is the world's first 100% carbon neutral shipping company that originally was from Australia, but they're now also in the US. So they're very big in both of those countries. And what's amazing about them is, unlike other carriers which offer a section of carbon neutral shipping, this company Sendle that we've partnered with, it is only 100% carbon neutral. So everything that gets shipped with them will be 100% carbon neutral. And I think that's something that people really want, because shipping is such a big issue in sustainability these days, and even non-sustainable items. You know, there's a lot of shipping happening, and it's great to have an option that is kind of guilt-free shopping in a way, because you get to buy sustainable items and then you get to also have the option to ship it carbon neutrally.
I speak about leading a sustainable lifestyle or contributing to sustainability. I always say a lot of people are thinking that if you become a sustainable shopper or a conscious shopper, you'll have to compromise with quality or by spending more or sacrificing an aspect of your life. But I'm trying to tell people it's actually quite the reverse, because when we lead a sustainable lifestyle, then our life is more balanced because we don't overconsume. So hence we actually save money. Because for me, for fashion, I always say you buy. You go into a shop to buy a t-shirt, and I'm not going to say which shop you go to, but let's say it's one of those fast fashion shops. You're not buying not the t-shirt you go actually in for. You buy the t-shirt or the top in 5 different colors because it's so cheap. But then actually what happens is that after a few months, you're going to have holes, and it's not repairable because it's not good quality, and you end up throwing it out, and you have a closet that increasingly gets stuffed full of items and you have nothing to wear. So sometimes it is really worthwhile making the conscious decision, what do I actually really need and wear 100 times, because it is a capsule wardrobe item, and then just buy the good quality item that is going to be there with you for the longest of time. So it's about purchasing correctly, just thinking about it consciously. And so I always say, you need a sustainable lifestyle, and contributing to sustainability will be just a side effect.
So it's just switching out for products that are going to have that longevity. They're going to last you season in, season out. They're going to have the same quality, and it's easy. It can be easily done. So you've just got to do something that you can do daily, because I think it shouldn't be a one-off or something like that. So it should be something that you can do very quickly and easily.
I get a bit of the sense that you were the driving force of actually kicking this beautiful mission into reality. I want to do it. I want to do it, and let's do it. And I love that. I love that, because there are a lot of women who have a wonderful idea, a revelation, and then they don't know how to actually translate it into something real and execute it, or have the confidence but you did it. And so in that aspect, I would like to ask you, so what does International Women's Day mean to you? Because it is a feeling of empowerment actually when you have your morph moment and you make it into a mission that actually serves widely, a wider space than just a personal space.
Oh, it means so many things. I guess it's a great day to celebrate women, but at the same time, I think while we're celebrating women, it's also a really good opportunity to kind of take stock, have a look at where we are at. And if we look at women's rights, it's such a broad topic.
Mm-hmm.
And for sure, I don't think we are where we need to be. That's 100% sure. But if you just look at one small, sort of go down to the granular level, looking at women who are leaders or women in leadership roles, like CEO positions of Fortune 500 companies, it's just astounding today. In 2021, there are only 37 women out of the Fortune 500 companies. There are only 37 of them that are women. So that's 7.4%. It's not great. And by the way, that's up 12% from last year. So it's just, I think it's an opportunity to really open up a dialogue. And it's not just a day, it's a day to raise awareness that hopefully extends an ongoing dialogue to introduce equality and to really have a look at rights, not just for women, men, everyone, an all-inclusive environment. And we need to really build up to kind of look at the issues where we need to. I think one area that we need to focus on is creating more opportunities and a more inclusive workplace.
Yes, absolutely. And I also feel that the pandemic actually opened a complete new perspective, because a lot of couples have been forced to work from home, and that blurred a bit the lines of the conventional tasks of what does a woman typically do, particularly if you have kids in a family. It blurred a bit the tasks. So, you will see the husband getting the groceries sometimes and cooking more than it was actually the case before. Certainly, it has been in our household. I think that if there was anything good that came out of this pandemic, is that, I was always working from home because I'm running the business, but my husband would commute into central London and work from there. But now being all under the same roof, depending on who's on a call or who's in a meeting later on, the other one is going to pick up dealing with the meals.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what we need in order to allow women, because women are childbearing after all, and that's normally what causes the problem one way to the other, either on their personal journey, professional journey, or actually for a business to hire a woman or not hire a woman. The consideration, well, will she be off? And will I have to pay maternity leave? Obviously, depending on the country, some countries don't actually pay maternity leave. That's a whole different topic. I mean, we could be here for hours, but just trying to put it into the nutshell, I think that once employers realize that we're all equal in the sense that we all should be allowed to have flexible work arrangements and flexible hours, because it's up to the couple how they want to manage their lives. You might have a woman who's a bread earner and the man a homemaker, or you've got totally blurred lines, which I hope is where we're heading to in future.
Totally.
So this is actually
there's enough seats at the table. There's enough seats at the table for everyone to share around equally. That's for sure. And yes. I think women bring a different mindset, a different skill set, and just a different perspective. And it's healthy to have different perspectives.
Yes. And you see that the most successful teams are actually those who are totally diverse, because everybody brings a different skill set. And it's almost like, when you run your own business, one of the first things you need to do is run a SWOT analysis, right? What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses, and how do you manage them? Because that will give you a guideline, really, how you what gaps you need to fill and what strengths you need to milk. Now, you're a successful businesswoman. I certainly can say that about you. Do you have any tips to women who are actually had that eureka moment, or moment rather, had that morph moment and have this passion, would love to get going on that journey, but are not so sure how to execute it. And where actually to dig, to get that confidence together to actually make this leap of faith?
It's a great question, because I think people they're running through these processes in their thoughts at any rate. I think the thing is, there's no secret sauce to this. I'm not doing anything miraculous. And people who start their own businesses, it's just, I think it really comes down to having a belief in yourself. It comes down to, the time is now. Don't procrastinate. There's a time to do your due diligence, and like you say, run your SWOT analysis and do all your checks and things like that. But then you just need to kind of not dip your toe in, just jump in and persist. I think that's you would have experienced this many times, and this is part of going back to what I was saying earlier, is when you do something that you feel very emotionally connected with, the troubled waters or the challenges that you have become very easier to navigate when you have that connection and you really, really care about what you're doing. So I think the last thing I would say is, don't listen also to naysayers. There are so many people who have said, oh, that's not a good idea, or that doesn't work. I wouldn't listen to that. Believe in yourself. You know what you're doing. Go for it. You've got this.
Great. That's a great
basic ones, but true.
Yes, it is true. It is actually. That's the bottom line, isn't it? Believe in yourself and feel the mission. Mission that is built from your own passion and creativity and desire. Fantastic.
And if you have challenges, you will manage to kind of circumvent them. You will, whatever happens, everyone has the skills. And if you don't have the skills, that's when you start to learn them. And it doesn't matter. I think it's progress over perfection. Absolutely. Something I work on a daily basis. I'm a perfectionist at times, so I have to work on that.
Yes, the amount of technical skills that I had to learn.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't even have a Facebook account before, so I was that bad.
Wow, you've done amazing. You're incredible.
Yeah, on the social media thing, that's a complete new thing. But you can Google anything really. You can find videos on YouTube giving you tutorials. There's so much out there. It's so much easier than it used to be.
That's for sure.
So on that positive note, I need to thank you for the time you've taken out of your busy life to speak to my community and share your passion and your mission and giving us insight on your personal journey that led you to create Cerqular.
Thank you so much.
Best of success. I am very proud to be saying that the Morphic is joining Cerqular. Given we share,
and we're absolutely delighted to have you. We're thrilled because it's brands like yourself and businesswomen like yourself who make the difference. And one thing I will say is the majority of business owners on our platform are actually female owned, which is exciting. It's exciting times because we are sort of shifting the direction. So thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed this chat, and we are absolutely, like I said, absolutely delighted to have you on our platform.
Thank you very much, Janine. Thank you. Wishing you a good evening, because it's evening where you are in Australia, is it?
It is currently. We're LA based. It's a US based marketplace, but I'm currently in Oz just because of quarantining. It's a bit of a challenge. So
yes. Well, I can't think of a better place to actually quarantine in Australia.
Thank you. It's great. And I wish you a very nice day ahead too.
Thank you very much. The sun is shining. I had to put the blinds down because of the interview, but the sun is shining. So I shall look forward to my dog walk.
Thank you.
All the best. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.